It is time for round 3 of the Jimmy Primaries, with the first state going to Jimmy Hart. I'm doing 2 in one day because, there's things I said in that video, so I'm not going to go over it again. Yeah, I'm doing 2 today. I'll probably just do 1 Jimmy primary tomorrow, and then we'll see kind of how it goes from there. So I had intended to record this earlier in the day, but I was busy when I thought about it, and then I just kind of forgot about recording this, and then I just now remembered that I have to make this video. So yeah, and I'm probably gonna record some more tonight so they can go up tomorrow morning, because I'm not gonna record 5 videos in a single day. That would be so much work. So I'm probably gonna record a couple tonight, and then schedule them for tomorrow, cause that's what I did for some of the others. Wait, no, that was not for Jimmy Kimmel. That was for Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon. Wait, was that for Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy? Yeah, that was for Jimmy Fallon. So Jimmy Fallon's one. So basically, these are the states they've been won right now. We've got 2 for Jimmy Uso, 2 for Jimmy Fallon, 1 for Jimmy Hart, 1 for Jimmy Dore. And then Jimmy Hart just won his second state. Jimmy Hart has honestly consistently done really well in these primaries so far. Like, Jimmy Hart has done really great. We've got Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast. He just won Pennsylvania, which is pretty nice for him. See, I'm probably gonna do just 1 Jimmy primary tomorrow, and I'm not really gonna have any more plans after that to do one a day. It just kind of really depends. I would like to finish all of the primaries on the same day, but I'm not sure if that's actually gonna happen or not. But we're just gonna have to see how it goes, for sure. So which Jimmys haven't won states yet? Jimmy Kimmel hasn't. Jimmy Dore just won his second state, which is nice for him. Jimmy Kimmel hasn't won a state. Jimmy Willis hasn't won a state. Jimmy Chin, Jimmy Chamberlain. Oh, well, Jimmy Chin just won a state, as I said his name, so. Yeah, Jimmy Chin. Jimmy Chin. Jimmy Chin. Jimmy Chin. My name is Jimmy Chin. Okay. Ooh, I thought I was gonna go to a Jimmy, to Jimmy Willis, but last second it flipped to Jimmy Fallon. So, wait, yeah. Jimmy Fallon's in first place right now. Well, he was in first place, but now he's tied with Jimmy Dore, who has done really well so far. Jimmy Chin kind of fell off. He hasn't really done that well this primary. And I say that, and then, yeah, he almost won a state just now. He lost, but he almost won a state, as I said his name. Okay, this one's for Jimmy Chamberlain. Okay, Jimmy Chamberlain. See, this area always tends to vote for the same person. I don't know why. But, like, this area tends to always kind of vote for the same person. Okay, this time I voted for Jimmy Hart. But, like, these 2 states have, like, basically always voted for the same person in these primaries. Like, regardless of the party, it's weird. I don't know. It's strange. This is very big, back-to-back primary, when people, where one person wins 2 states back-to-back. That's happened 4 times now in this primary alone. Okay, Jimmy Kimmel has finally won his first state. Who do you support more, Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel? Leave a comment down below. Jimmy Kimmel. Okay. Jimmy Chamberlain has won Louisiana. It's always so easy to be in Louisiana. Jimmy Dore or Jimmy Hart? Ooh, that's close. It went to Jimmy Hart. That was so damn close. Jimmy Hart has done really well in the South. The Deep South is really, really big on Jimmy Hart. And Jimmy Chamberlain, of course, too. And then there's Jimmy Fallon, who's won Tennessee, which is nice for him. Ooh, that's close. Jimmy Dore or Jimmy Hart? It's gonna say Jimmy Dore. It almost flipped to Jimmy Hart. It was like literally so close to the line, but it ultimately did not go in Jimmy Hart's way. Now his heart is in pieces. Okay, Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast wins West Virginia. Mr. Beast hasn't won a state in ages, so it definitely will be nice to win that state. Jimmy Willis hasn't won a state yet, which is pretty bad for him. I think he's the last one that hasn't won a state yet. So that might be a sign of who loses. Because Jimmy Willis has yet to win a single state. He's definitely gonna start winning some states soon. Other than him, Jimmy Chin's in last place. Yeah, other than him, it's Jimmy Chin in last place. He's only won Washington, D.C. Mr. Beast won another state. It's not out of the question for Jimmy Willis. He can still, okay, well, Jimmy Chin just won a state, so now he's going to have to win 3 separate states in order to get ahead, which is going to be hard. None of the wheel spins are even really coming that close to Jimmy Willis either. Mr. Beast is so well liked up here. This area of the country just fucking loves Mr. Beast. This must be where his, like, big audience is. They just love Mr. Beast. Fuck another one for Mr. Beast. Damn. They cannot get enough of Mr. Beast up here. They just love them some Mr. Beast. Jimmy Connors has won Minnesota. Who's gonna win Iowa? The only state that voted for man. Who's gonna win it? It was Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon's won Iowa. Man, how do you feel? How do you feel about Jimmy Fallon winning Iowa? Jimmy Chin has won Missouri. Yeah, Jimmy Willis is kind of cooked, honestly. He still hasn't won a single state yet. Ooh, it almost went Jimmy Uso, but it flipped last second to Jimmy Chamberlain. Oof, that must suck to be Jimmy Uso right now. He's a professional WWE wrestler, I think, so he can just, punch Jimmy Chamberlain. Jimmy Hart. I'm telling you, the Deep South loves Jimmy Hart. They really do. Jimmy Dore, he's won my state of Texas, which is cool, I guess. I don't really know how cool that is. So, Jimmy Willis still hasn't won a single state. Still not won a single state. Jimmy Willis is cooked here. Still not a single state has come even close to Jimmy Willis. And Jimmy Connors has won 3 states in a row. Which is kind of crazy if you ask me. Jimmy Dore. I wonder how many of these Jimmys actively go to the gym. Do all these Jimmys go to the gym, or do none of them? I would assume Jimmy Uso probably goes to the gym. I would assume Jimmy Uso probably goes to the gym a lot. Is a single one gonna go for Jimmy Willis? Just none of these wheel spins are coming even remotely close to Jimmy Willis. Like, he's not won a single state. He's not doing great. He's not doing great. People, vultures, air approachers, final hearing. What else have we got left to do now? Jimmy Willis, nope. Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Willis has had such an unlucky run today. There's nobody in this country likes Jimmy Willis anymore. It's a shame. It's a shame. I think I can safely say Jimmy Willis is probably getting out. He just has not won in any states. No matter how bad Jimmy Kimmel's done, it's just unless Jimmy Willis just does very well towards the end and somehow beats Jimmy Kimmel's 2 states, he's definitely out here. I mean, Jimmy Uso's only won 2 states as well. Jimmy Uso has only won 2 states. That's really awful. Like, Jimmy Uso needs to sound his alarms. Like, he's probably safe this round because of how bad Jimmy Willis has done. But Jimmy Uso definitely needs to prepare for the next rounds because Jimmy Willis finally won. Jimmy Willis has finally won a state. Jimmy Willis. Okay, can Jimmy Willis pull in the ultimate clutch here at the end and at least tie with Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Uso and at least make the wheel go into a runoff where I have to spin the wheel with the people who tied last? Jimmy Willis has won Idaho against all odds. Hey, it's better to win one state than win zero. Okay, Jimmy Uso's safe. Wait, is he? Yeah. Jimmy Uso is guaranteed safe. Even if something happens and Jimmy Willis wins Washington and ties last with Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Uso's safe now. Because he won Oregon. Jimmy Uso has only won 3 states. This is definitely a big concern for Jimmy Uso. He's gonna need to talk to his manager about this for sure. Because that's not good. He's definitely gonna need to prepare his campaign a lot. But he's not doing. Oh my God, Jimmy Willis. He against all odds, Jimmy Willis can't survive. He did fucking horrible this whole entire game, and then right at the end, clutched. I'm pretty sure he's tied with Jimmy Kimmel for last. Yeah. Jimmy Uso is incredibly lucky that he won Oregon because he's not going to be involved in this deal. He's guaranteed to move on to the next round because Jimmy Willis popped off at the very end. It's going to go between Jimmy Willis and Jimmy Kimmel. I'm going to spin the wheel between them because it was a tie for last. Whoever the wheel lands on is eliminated from the primary, which means that Jimmy Willis, despite how terribly he has performed, came in clutch at the end and could potentially survive against all odds. Spin the wheel and find out. Jimmy Willis versus Jimmy Kimmel, who was eliminated. It's Jimmy Willis. He put up a great fight, and I applaud him for the fight that he put up. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Goodbye, Jimmy Willis. And to Jimmy Kimmel, I guess you're lucky enough to make it on to the next round. Goodbye.